The first time his lips met mine, I forgot how to breathe. It wasn't just a kiss. It was a spark that set fire to the quiet corners of my soul. The forest surrounded us in its stillness, trees towering like silent witnesses, the earthy scent of pine heavy in the air. His hands framed my face with a tenderness that contradicted the hunger in his kiss, and though every sensible thought screamed that this was reckless, my body leaned into him as though I'd been waiting for this moment all my life. Ryan. 22, full of restless energy, his smile quick, his laughter unrestrained. He was younger, freer, the kind of man who carried the weight of possibility in his eyes. I was 30, seasoned by the compromises of adulthood, bound by expectations I had quietly stopped questioning. On paper, we were mismatched, different stages of life, different worlds. But in that kiss, none of it mattered. We had met on a trail only hours earlier. I had gone hiking alone, seeking solitude, a reprieve from the predictable rhythm of my days. The forest had always been my escape, the one place where I could breathe without the constant hum of responsibility in my ears. And then he appeared. Jogging shirtless, the late morning sun gilding his skin, sweat dampening his hair. He slowed when he saw me, flashing a grin that carried both ease and mischief. "Beautiful day, isn't it?" he said, his voice smooth, like he belonged here, like he belonged anywhere. "Perfect for getting lost," I replied, a smile tugging at my lips despite myself. He chuckled. "Then it's a good thing we crossed paths." From that moment, we fell into step together. Conversation came easily, too easily. We spoke of music that moved us, books that lingered, the kind of dreams people usually keep to themselves. He had a way of listening, of making me feel as though every word I spoke mattered, as though I weren't just another woman he'd met on the trail. By the time we reached a clearing near a stream, the connection was undeniable. He leaned closer, the sunlight catching the flecks in his hazel eyes, and without hesitation, he kissed me. It should have ended there. A stolen moment, a story to tuck away and never repeat. But when we pulled apart, breathless, our foreheads pressed together, I knew it wouldn't be that simple. "This is insane," I whispered, my heart racing. "Maybe," he said, his thumb brushing across my cheek. "But doesn't it feel right?" And it did. God, it did. We spent the rest of the day wandering the trails, our hands finding each other as though pulled by magnets, our laughter echoing between the trees. He told me about his dreams of writing, of traveling, of living without the chains of expectation. I confessed how tired I was of playing it safe, of always choosing the path that looked respectable rather than the one that made my heart race. By the time the sun began to dip, painting the horizon in hues of fire and gold, we had stopped fighting it. In another secluded clearing, we kissed again, deeper, hungrier. His hands traced the line of my spine, and my fingers tangled in his hair, pulling him closer. It was a collision of longing and release, of desire I had buried and passion he hadn't yet learned to tame. We lay in the grass, tangled together, the forest a cocoon of shadows and light. Every touch, every sigh, every whisper felt like peeling back a layer I had long forgotten. It wasn't just physical. It was the aching relief of being seen, of being wanted, of being alive. When it was over, we lay side by side, the fading light casting us in gold. Our fingers remained entwined, as though letting go would mean waking from a dream neither of us wanted to end. "This can't just be today," he said, his voice steady despite the storm of emotion in his eyes. I turned to him, my chest tight. "But I'm older. We're different." He shook his head, his grip on my hand firm. "All I know is when I'm with you, nothing else matters. That has to mean something." I wanted to protest, to remind him of reality, the years between us, the judgment we'd face, the risk of heartbreak. But instead, I stayed silent, letting his words settle into the cracks of my doubts. The days that followed blurred into a series of secret meetings. We walked the trails together, sometimes in long conversations, sometimes in comfortable silence. We shared stolen kisses beneath the canopy of leaves, laughter that spilled freely, stories told in whispers as though the forest itself might carry them away. Each time, I told myself it would be the last. And each time, when I saw him waiting for me with that reckless smile, I surrendered. It wasn't just desire. It was something deeper, something I had forgotten how to crave. Ryan made me feel weightless, unburdened, alive in a way I hadn't in years. With him, the age difference melted away. With him, I wasn't a woman keeping up appearances. I was simply myself, raw, flawed, yearning, free. But guilt crept in quietly, like shadows at dusk. At night, alone in my bed, I'd stare at the ceiling and question what I was doing. Was this love, or was it selfish escape? Was I risking too much for something that couldn't last? And yet, every time I thought of walking away, I remembered the way his hand fit mine, the sincerity in his gaze, the warmth of his voice when he said my name. One evening, as twilight settled and fireflies danced in the clearing, I asked him the question that had been clawing at me. What happens to us, Ryan, when reality catches up? He was quiet for a long moment, then turned to me, his expression earnest. We don't know the future. All we know is right now. And right now, I want you. That's enough for me. Tears stung my eyes, because I wanted to believe him. I wanted to believe that love didn't need permission, that it could exist beyond logic, beyond expectation. Maybe that's what love really is, the willingness to leap, even when you can't see the ground. And so I leapt. The weeks stretched into months, each secret meeting a thread weaving us closer together. We carved out a world within the forest, a world untouched by judgment, by rules, by time itself. In that wild sanctuary, we were just two souls colliding, unbound and unveiled. There were moments of doubt, of course. Moments when the weight of what we were doing pressed heavy on my chest. But then he'd laugh, or kiss me, or take my hand in his, and the doubts would crumble. Because whatever this was, love, passion, madness, it was real. It was ours. This is my confession. I never expected to find myself in the arms of someone younger, wilder, freer. I never expected to let the rules slip away and surrender to something so uncertain. But love doesn't arrive neatly packaged, waiting for the perfect time. It crashes into you like a storm, fierce and undeniable, demanding to be felt. Ryan was my storm. And beneath the whispering trees, with the earth beneath us and the sky above, I let it consume me. Because sometimes, the wildest choices are the ones that reveal who we truly are. And sometimes, unveiling your heart is the only way to find it again.